Hi dear student, this is Naveed Khan, your mathematics teacher. Now our next topic is matrix, but in matrix we will find out how to find the determinant of 2 by 2 matrix. Suppose dear student, here we have one matrix. In this matrix, the order of this matrix is 2 by 2. The order of this matrix is 2 by 2. 2 by 2 means that here we have two rows. Okay, we have two rows and we have two columns. Now how to find out determinant of this matrix A? So first of all we have to write down this matrix A in the vertical form. Okay, in the vertical matrix, vertical line, we will close it in the vertical lines, and then we will multiply diagonals with each other by cross multiplication. So 3 multiply by 1 and then 6 multiply by -1. But keep one thing in your mind, that between this multiplication here we have to put here minus sign. Okay, between multiplication by cross multiplication we have to put here minus sign. So here we have is 3 multiply by 1 3 and 6 multiply by -1, so the answer is +6. So determinant of the matrix A is equal to 9, okay, which is not equal to 0. My dear student, if determinant of the matrix is 0, then we call it is singular matrix. But here determinant of A is equal to 9. So now in this case we call it this is non-singular matrix. Okay, non-singular matrix. So here we have 2 by 2 matrix and we find out determinant of 2 by 2 matrix. So right now here we have one example for you. You have to find out determinant of 2 by 2 matrix, and the matrix A is given 8 3 -3 and 5. Okay, let's move to the next question. And how can we find out determinant of 3 by 3 matrix? So here we have one question. Okay, and this matrix is in the form of 3 by 3. Its order is 3 by 3. 3 by 3 means that we have 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, I'm writing here again. So here we have 3 -1 6 9 -5 2 0 4 and 7. Okay dear student, so this is 3 by 3 matrix. We will find out its determinant. Now dear student, look at here. Now in this step, here the leading element we have 3. Okay, so now just this 3 occur in first row and in first column. Okay, so we will leave first row and first column. So the remaining elements which we have is -5 2 4 and 7. So here I wrote down 3. So this 3 occurs in the first row and in the first column. So the remaining elements which we have is -2 -5 2 4 and 7. Okay, now dear student, the second element which we have is -1. The second element which we have is -1. So this -1, dear student, it's occur in the first row and second column. So the remaining elements which we have is 9 2 0 and 7. Okay, similarly let's move to the third element. The third element which we have is 6. Okay, but before going to write down 6, the notation will be plus. And now this 6 occur in first row and third column. First row and third column. So we will leave first row and third column, and then we will write down the remaining elements, which are 9, minus 5, 0 and minus 4. Okay, so here my dear student, by cross multiplication, okay, here we have by cross multiplication, so minus 5 multiplied by 7 and 2 multiplied by 4. Okay, and similarly this minus and minus, it will become plus, and then again by cross multiplication, but there will be minus sign between cross multiplication. 9 multiplied by 7 minus 2 multiplied by 0, and move to the third number, plus 6, again by cross multiplication, so 9 multiplied by 4 and minus 5 multiplied by 0, but there will be a minus number between two cross multiplication. Okay, so now after multiplication it will become minus 5 multiplied by 7, so the answer will become 35, and 2 multiplied by 4, the answer will be 8. Okay, so now my dear students, after solving this question, so determinant of the matrix A is equal to 150. Okay, 150 is the determinant of 3 by 3. Hi dear student, okay, let's move to the next point, next matrix. So here dear student, we have one 3 by 3 matrix again. So I'm writing here again, we have is 5, 3, 6, 10, 11, 1, minus 6, here we have 8 and minus 7. Okay dear student, so now we want to find out determinant of 3 by 3 matrix. So here in this step dear student, we have 5. Okay, here we have 5, so this 5 occur in first row and in first column, so we will leave the first row and first column. The remaining elements we have is 11, 1, 8 and minus 7. So write down here is 5. Okay, we will write down 5, then first row and first column, so the remaining element which we have is 11, 1, 8 and minus 3. Okay, now the second element we have is minus 3, but before going to write down 3 we have to put here minus sign. Okay, so now this is 3, now this 3 occur in first row and in second column, first row and second column, so the remaining element we have is 10, 1, minus 6 and minus 7. So I wrote down here is 10, 1, minus 6 and minus 7. Now the third element we have is 6. Before going to write down, say the third element, the notation will be plus. Okay, the first element, if we will expand this matrix, this will find out determinant by the first row. So the first element, before the first element the notation will be plus, the second element the notation will be minus, and the third element the notation will be plus. Okay, now this is plus 6 and the 6 occur in first row and third column, so leave the first row and third column, so the remaining element which we have is 10, 11, minus 6 and 8. Just wrote down here. Now dear student, here by cross multiplication, 11 multiplied by minus 7 and 1 multiplied by 8, but there will be minus sign between cross multiplication. Okay, and similarly here we have 10 multiplied by minus 7 and 1 multiplied by minus 6, and there will be minus sign between two multiplication. And the third element which we have is 6, Now we will find out determinant of this matrix. 10 multiplied by 8 and 11 multiplied by -6, but between two multiplication, cross multiplication, there will be minus sign. Okay dear student, so here we have 11 multiplied by 7 -77 and -8. Similarly 10 multiplied by -7 -70 plus 6, and the third term. Okay, now after calculation simplification, so determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix is 643. Now this 643 is not equal to 0. Okay, so we call it, this is non-singular matrix. Okay dear student, so thank you very much.